ride them. We do a little bit of round pen work almost every day before we ride them, just to create frame. And this is what kind of takes the resistance out of them. So it takes a little time to kind of get them to where they learn how to carry a bridle, learn where to keep themselves, and they just get, you'll see kind of the progression of them getting better at it all the time. They learn how to pack the bridle and learn how to carry it without resistance after a while. How to go up and down the gears from trot to a lope and a walk without getting in trouble. So here we got riding him here right after the bitting up process, and this is kind of a windy day. So we're kind of asking him to yield and give all the body parts after we get on, so that we get control over all of his feet, his mind, getting him to flex and bend everywhere, yield to the bridle. Right here I'm pushing his hip around the outside of him, bending him around, making him follow my hand. See the leaves blowing by. That's why I don't have my cowboy hat on today, because it's pretty windy. Didn't want to chase it. Yield this side just a little more. Hold his shoulder, move his hip. Yield his face, hold his shoulder, move his hip. Pick his shoulder up, move it over. Kind of a counter arc there, but just kind of lifting that shoulder up, make him step out and across. And keep walking him forward into the bridle, making him yield and give his chin. Same thing the other way, kind of yield and give his hip here a minute. All these different little knots we tie them in is kind of the building blocks of how to teach them how to use their body. Tie them in a few knots and let them learn how to give and yield off my hands here. A little bit of resistance there, and so just kind of pull and tug on them and teach them to be resistance free. They don't learn that unless they kind of run into a little resistance, and you have to kind of fix it there. Here's a few days later, and see the winds quit blowing so bad. You'll just kind of see a progression as he gets a little bit better each time. Just riding him in basically a cow horse saddle and a snaffle bit and a martingale rein, kind of to help him keep his chin and everything where I want it. He's really framing pretty good for a young horse, not too many rides on him, so kind of still have to bump him and push him around a little. And he's learning to accept that. Working him up into a lope, teach him to balance in the bridle as he's loping. He's still kind of wanting to lean on me a little, and I'm having to bump him off my hands a little, and then he gets confused with that and wants to come back, so I have to push him forward. So there's a little bit of a learning process, learning how to lope and how to carry himself correctly. We try not to make mistakes be a big thing. So we just let them learn from their mistakes, go up and down the gears. Don't make it a big deal right now. Just let them build confidence. Kind of like how he's starting to frame. Now you can see there, I just kind of sat down and he kind of come back and quit going. I like that he's listening to my body. As I quit riding, he just quit going. Lope to the right here. Work at getting him to frame again, guide through his body, make sure his alignment's working for the size of circle we got. Takes them a little while to build a little confidence, a little stamina, to where they can do this longer. He's getting up where you can ride him pretty long. Has a pretty good working attitude. You'll see him fuss and kind of try to find his way around the bridle every now and then, trying to figure it out, but he's really pretty happy to work most all the time. Pretty balanced way of moving. It's not too sensitive and he's not too dull, so just about right. Seems to be quite interested in cattle. When I work cattle, his pen's down at the end of my arena and he kind of wants to turn back for me, so that's kind of fun. See here, just a little more softening and bending. And it's just a lot of repetition of all this at this point. Get him to come back off my hands. Now we're riding him in different places here, so we're in the indoor arena today for some of the time. Just build his confidence of riding in and out of these shadows here. He's not too bad at it. Some horses, you bring them in and they worry about the shadows and can't see as good. He don't seem to care too much. So a little more driving him forward, pushing him forward up in the bridle. We'll just kind of keep asking him to give his chin, give his face, go forward in the bridle and keep his spine aligned so he's guiding correctly. Keep him soft in the chin, soft in the bridle so we'll over exaggerate it for a few strides and then turn it loose for a few strides, and over exaggerate it for a few strides and turn it loose for a few strides, and try and keep them to learn a balance and how to give in the face instead of root their nose out. Just a bunch of different circles. Making him follow my hands and use different parts of his body to shape and yield and give off my legs. It's hard to see sometimes, but different parts of my legs are pushing on different parts of him to make him yield and give. How much I ride through my body depends on how fast we go. Just right here, just kind of bend him around my leg a little more. If I get riding him around, feel a spot that I think is just a little stiff or he's pushing somewhere, then I'll do an exercise to soften that part up. I want to keep him walking forward and stepping across. Teaching him to go forward a lot at this point and yield. As we get him a little further along, then we'll teach him to back up and yield to the bridle and come around for working cattle. But for right now, we want to build confidence in him going forward and then just take all that resistance out. And as we get a little further along, we'll just keep going up into bigger and bigger arenas. I try not to put them in too big a one too fast so I don't have to take a hold of them and stiffen them up, just for self-preservation for me and him. And here we're just loosening up his hip and rib cage a little more. But confidence-wise, if they can just start and build a little bit, you don't have to pull them too hard. Keep them in the right size arena for what you're doing. Let them build confidence in you. Don't ask too much of them too fast. Let them just build confidence and come along and get better each day you ride them. You make progress steadily. If you ask more of them than they're ready to accept, then they lose confidence. And just like people, the more confident they are at doing a project or doing a job, the happier they are to do it, and the less they worry about it. A little more counter arc here. It's a lot of this at this stage. He's coming back off my hand, still just trying to find where he's supposed to be just a little bit. He kind of settles in. I quit asking him when I get good even steps. Always quit backing them when they're giving you willing steps. Here he's loped to the left. Keep him framed. He's in a bigger pen. Don't have the fence of the round pen to hold him in, so I have to help him just a little bit more. So him getting used to me helping him is what that bigger pen's about. Not locking up on the bridle somewhere and leaning against something, trying to avoid something. Just try and keep him giving and yielding and riding forward and building some confidence in his lope and in his ability to lope around here and not worry. Nice stop there for where he is. Just as soon as I quit riding, he just kind of, everything stopped. He does want to stop, which I like at this stage. It's a whole lot easier to get them to do the maneuvers if they want to stop. A whole lot easier to make one try to go than it is to try and hold one back that wants to run off. A little more the other direction. You can see him just trying to find his balance in the bridle there. Just a matter of just keep riding him forward and letting him figure it out, going up and down the gears, figure out how to balance and shape, align his body to do different maneuvers. little sticky there, but he's figuring it out. Just try and ride him confidently and get him to believe in what I'm asking him to do, that it's not too hard. Just when they're loping around, they're young like this, they just kind of lose their balance a little bit and break gait, fall out of lead. Sometimes you just have to pick them up, start again. It's good if you don't punish them or get after them too much at this point. Just let them build their confidence. Get their alignment a little better, and it just gets easier for them. They just quit fighting with you, and it just gets smoother. Pretty soon you got a big old loop in your rein, and they're just loping along, licking their lips. You can see there, he really wanted to stop. I said, whoa, and I didn't pull him in the ground. It's just everything hit the dirt. He stopped on the front and the back and everything, so. We'll do one more here just to kind of make it smooth out a little bit. Nice little lope off there, and we'll get him to stop right here and do one more. And a little softer stop, and just let him relax with it there.